Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I wanted to review another movie that was I put off seeing for a long time. Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge, and this is one from Freeze Entertainment or Fry's Entertainment. And I remember they had a bunch of movies that came out in the late '80s, early '90s, especially one called Fast Food. I remember seeing it with my roommates going, and we liked that, and that was part of Kevin McCarthy when he was being in a lot of movies after being in a Twilight Zone movie. And I like that movie. But Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge, was one that I heard about, and I remember seeing in this. I used to get like this big movie review book. I remember the guy in the movie was who reviewed it was very impressed. He gave it like two and a half stars to 3 stars. I can't remember. And I remember other people hating it. And I never saw it. I didn't think it was. I don't know. I liked the Robert Englund remake of Family Opera that came out in '89 or '90. I saw that. I loved Dario Argento's opera, which in the States was called Terror the Opera. And if for whatever reason he decided to do another Family Opera in '95 or '96 with Julian Sands, which wasn't as good. I love the original Lon Chaney Jr. Family Opera. Well, this Phantom of the Mall is the same thing, but different, you know. Yeah, I was a big fan of the 1940s one, which I didn't see till much later. I rented that from Springboro. I rented a few movies back when they had a video rental place in the late 90s. And then I remember seeing Phantom of the Paradise, the Brian Palma one with that I was a big fan of. I decided to see this one. I remember when I got out of the Army, I was still a member of, Albion had a video rental place called Family Video Rental or something like that. And I remember there was a priest going down, and the priest wanted to talk to the owner saying there shouldn't be family video or something like that whenever they rented porno there too, you know. That's the way Albion is. Well, that's long since been done away with. They haven't been around for a long time. But back in the early 90s, I used to rent movies there. I remember the horror movies section became very anemic. They didn't add anything to it. But I give them credit for having like Wizard of Gore, Face of Death 2, Mondo Magic, Shocking Asia 1, and Shocking Asia 2. I remember seeing them. And there were some other ones. And they had Phantom of the Paradise. Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. And I was always contemplating getting it. I read the bag. It just didn't sound interesting enough, so I never bothered to rent it. And I remember before it closed, well, they had that, and they had Going Dawn when I was still around, had a video rental place for a little video rental thing for a while. That's when the grocery store used to have that when it was really big. Jim and Sue's, when I was a grocery store, had a video rental thing. Platia had a small video rental place. We went there a couple times, not that much. And then, like I said, whenever Family Video, the last couple times I went there was like in 2000, 2001. I remember renting Hellraiser 6 and Scary Movie, the very first one. And then after that, like a year or two after that, they had that John Wayne movie, Hondo. My dad never seen it, so I rented that. I remember the very last time going there, they were selling some VHS. I remember I bought Force Fire for $1. And then it closed down, and it became like it was like a place that repaired refrigerators and stuff for a little while. Then it became Jim and Sue's, not Jim and Sue's, Reed's Pizza, which I've never done a review from there. Because they don't open until 4 o'clock, and just the hours are weird. And so eventually I saw it when I was watching like New Year's Eve, and then I saw Bloody New Year. I saw that the Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge was finally playing. I said, well, hell, I'll give it a shot. And I watched a 91-minute version of it. It said it was restored. And I watched it. I guess MGM and UA picked it up. United Artists. And what it concerns about is this one kid that lived in a house, and these developers wanted to make this mall. And they ended up, I'm not giving away, they ended up burning down his house. They never say what happens to his parents, but he was burnt, and then he was believed dead. And then, the mall was built, years later. I don't know how long it took. And they filmed that actual mall. And then you see, like, he snuck into the mall, and he, like, he like took some stuff from mannequin stuff like a hat, and then he like chiseled off like the face of a mannequin so he could put over his face like that burnt. And basically, he lived in a mall, and they were trying, and his girl watching his girlfriend, make sure she was safe. They were trying to figure out him and this the girl and this one reporter were talking about what happened. They were trying to find out who burned down the house. And he found out it was this one guy. And then all in all, I mean, this guy was, if someone was harming his girlfriend, that one guy, the Eric, would kill him or something like that. But there's very, like, one or two things, right? One or two deaths in the movie with, you know, and, you know, it got to the point where it was so boring. I mean, the whole movie is awful. And I was surprised Pauly Shore was in there. This was one of his early movies from '89. Before he was on, I'm not a fan of Pauly Shore at all. I mean, I guess he was on a show on MTV, and then in '92 he was in Encino Man, which I saw in the drive-in with that and a double bill of, the second movie was Alien 3, which was a crushing disappointment. Encino Man was alright. I guess Pauly Shore was okay because he wasn't in it that much. And then I started seeing, a year later, Son-in-Law. I said, I ain't going to see that. He's too annoying for me. And then he was in Army Now. And I ended up watching like the first half hour of the basic training stuff. And that one drill sergeant reminded me of Drill Sergeant Bailey. I had trouble with her. And their rapport between them was good. But then after a half hour, I couldn't watch it anymore. I shut off. I did remember liking Jury Duty. I saw that on cable. And I actually enjoyed Jury Duty. And then I thought he did okay at voice work in the Goofy movie. But I'm not a Pauly Shore fan at all. I was surprised to see him in it. And also Morgan Fairchild and Ken Foree Ken Foree played a small part. He starred in Dawn of the Dead, the George Romero '78 movie. And of course, Morgan Fairchild was in, became famous for Flamingo Road, and then she was in another horror film called The Seduction, which I loved. I was a big fan of The Seduction. I hated this movie. I mean, it was so boring. I mean, because they had some character development, but nothing really happened in the movie. And like an hour into it, I couldn't take it anymore. I mean, she ends up finding the guy, and then she said, I thought you were dead for all this time. I don't know why you pretended to be dead. Maybe to get revenge, but it was such a lousy movie. Actually, an hour in, I said, I can't take it anymore. I shut it off. I was about ready to give this movie a giant goose egg. It's so boring. I mean, it had a budget. I looked on IMDb. It had a budget of $3 million, right? It doesn't sell, and it doesn't even use its setting of a mall really well. Cause I mean, there was a movie called Chopping Mall, which blows this away. Very entertaining movie. And then even, I'm not a Kevin James fan. I remember seeing Paul Blart Mall Cop, the first one, and they used that setting very well. This one, not at all. It's a horrible movie. I really hate it. I was gonna, like I said, I was gonna give a 0 out of 10. But because it had Morgan Fairchild, lovely Morgan Fairchild, and Ken Foree in it, I'm going to give it a 0.5 out of 10. That's a 0.5. Not even a 1. So, yeah, definitely avoid this movie. It's terrible. So, until next time, bye, please. Take care of my Legion and avoid Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge.